So, Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm showing this video whilst driving because I didn't want to have to sit down and set up the camera formally and go through all of that rigmarole for no reason. And this is good enough. And also the message that I want to share with you is quite time sensitive in my mind because it's just something that just happened. So I was having a conversation with someone who is currently doing a PhD in psychology, and this person is riddled with issues. She even seems to think that her issues are generational, meaning that she's been passed down a lot of her problems through DNA. Now, whether that's possible or not, really I don't care. But the whole gist of the conversation that I had with her was one of powerlessness. She's so powerless that she can't change this, she's so powerless that she can't change that, and she's so powerless that even her problems were passed down to her from her mother or her grandmother. So then, I'm not going to go back in time and fix her grandmother, and if I did, it's too late because the problem's already been passed down. So you see that there's a lot of lack of control and this powerlessness victim card that she's playing. So anyway, she asked me, how do I do what I do? So I'm telling her some of the things that alhamdulillah I've been able to achieve, and she couldn't believe that changes could happen in 4 hours. There's someone who is claustrophobic, or someone who had a phobia, or someone who had been raped, or whatever else could actually be fixed within 4 hours. So I was thinking in my brain, well, alhamdulillah, I never told her that it happened within 2 hours, actually, not 4. But that's a different story. So one of the things that I told her was how whenever I've dealt with a trauma victim, specifically rape, I would always tell them, look, what happened to you, is despicable, it's disgusting, no doubt about it. But how many times did that happen to you? How many times were you raped? Once, twice, maybe. But every time you remember that memory, isn't it like you're raping yourself? Because you're remembering the pain and the agony. Now, I've never said that to anyone except in the right context, at the right time. And I've never said it except that it's worked and given them spontaneous shifts in the way that they think and the way that they feel. And it's been very, very, very therapeutic. Except this person just went crazy and said, that's unacceptable, that's despicable, how dare you? I'm like, sorry, I'm here to help people. I'm not here to be oversensitive or to, walk on eggshells. I'm here to help people. And I don't think that's offensive, and neither did they, because they changed. I mean, literally, you could see, the clouds of anxiety, sadness, depression just part and make way. Literally, you could see that. But regardless of what I said to this person, they just wouldn't accept it whatsoever. And this got me thinking, because ultimately, either you're going to defend your problem or you're going to defend yourself. Either you're going to want to, I'm here to wage war on your problems. Not on you, but on your problems. I'm here to make sure that your problems don't exist. We want to eradicate your problems. So, what that person was doing, they were getting very defensive about not only their problem, oh, it's generational and it's this and it's that, but other people's problems. Even though other people were giving me their time, most importantly, and secondly, their money, in order to get rid of the problem. So how dare this person say that to me? But it got me, I don't care about that, but it got me thinking, right? How is it that we are, and how is it that we feel, and what is it that we do? Do we defend our problems? And are we willing to think and to expand beyond that which we know? I mean, that person, did an undergraduate, did a master's, and now they're doing a PhD. But are they willing? But with all of that, have they been able to change themselves? The answer is no. Now, are they willing to say, okay, the knowledge that I have is theoretical or academic in nature, and the type of help that I need is different. And so I'm willing to think differently about this. No. That person wanted to hold me to their standards and to their conditions and to their limitations. And firstly, those limitations are absolutely, utterly unfounded and wrong. But then secondly, it defeats the purpose. You know, if that person could help themselves, they would have. And we would not have had to speak. But ultimately, they couldn't help themselves, and that's why we had to speak. So I just thought I'd run this by you. You know, for me, it was very interesting, and the point still stands. Do you want to safeguard your problems? You know, are you going to get offended if someone says, hey, you have a problem and you need to change it? Or are you strong enough to realize that the problem is not you, and you are not the problem? The problem is something that you're doing, right? And that you can take that step forward. So finally, just to wrap up, what we do in the Unshackled program is that it's a 6-day makeover, and people come with all sorts of problems. And I was talking about this to that person that they should come to Unshackled, and alhamdulillah, I don't think that that person will come, and that's fine, absolutely fine. You know, whenever they're ready, they'll come. If they're not, no problem. But that's the thing, right? You want to come to Unshackled, you've got to make sure that you know that you are not your problem. If that's the case, and you want to come to Unshackled and walk away lighter, freer, happier, more able, then inshallah I'll see you whenever you're ready. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.